Years down the line, Newton can hatch these eggs easily and with the minimum mortality rate possible. To do this, he has to go through a checklist. When a farmer brings eggs for hatching, Newton and his team check numerous factors such as the state of the egg and its cleanliness. He knows that these factors ultimately contribute towards the success or failure of the egg hatching business.
We follow certain criteria for accepting eggs for hatching. It includes such things as, are the eggs clean? Are the eggs cracked? Then we also ask a farmer to find out if the eggs have overstayed since they were laid. And also we try and find out whether they have ensured a proper mix of cocks and hens on their farms. We try and very much to help farmers to get the best results. So we keep on giving that feedback even when we get the chicks. When the hatching is complete, we give them feedback.
Once everything has been checked out and given a go-ahead, he has to record the number of eggs received, state of eggs received, and the initials of the farmer who has brought them.
So we have our records, whereby we record the farmer details. The eggs also have to be marked before they are put into the machine. The initials of the farmer, and the expected hatching dates, and the positioning of those eggs inside the incubator. Those are the records we use also to trace the eggs when they're about to hatch.
Fertilized chicken eggs usually take exactly 21 days to hatch. After they have been hatched, special care needs to be administered to them, as we have previously discussed. The brooder should have various things such as the bedding, which can be the straw or sawdust as Newton has put, a lamp for warmth in sight, water sources and feed sources as well.
After they hatch, we allow them to dry up for about another 12 hours. We have a mini brooder somewhere inside the house where we hold chicks for farmers. Farmers pick their chicks when they are just about 24 hours to 48 hours old. And some, if they extend very much, 72 hours or 3 days.
Water is crucial for the first few days of a chick's life. They need clean and sufficient water. Newton changes the water a minimum of 2 times daily to reduce fecal, food or bedding contamination. In the water, he also adds a multivitamin so the chicks grow up healthy and strong.
The multivit generally provides the chick with appetite, good appetite, whereas the glucose provides the chick with that initial energy they require. Even though for the first 72 hours, a chick reabsorbs its egg yolk. Egg yolk is also rich of nutrition. A chick is able to survive even for up to 72 hours without food. Chicks, once they are hatched, the essential for chicks is one, drinking water. The drinking water is very critical. Even before we give them feeds, the initial hours of life, especially the first 24 hours, they require drinking water. And in this drinking water, we add such items as liquid paraffin. And this is to clear their digestive tract system. This ensures that they don't have a problem with digesting the feed.
Nutrition is one of the trickiest part for new poultry farmers. Newton advises that starter feed should be used for growing birds due to its high protein content for the first 8 weeks of its life cycle. He feeds them through this bright red and white feeders.
For the initial food we give the chicks, known as the chick mash, and an ideal chick mash would contain digestible crude protein of up to 22%. As at this young stage, the chicks require high protein levels to be able to grow faster. We give farmers a feeding program. We give them a feeding program and a vaccination program.
Newton also vaccinates chicks against diseases such as the Gumboro disease. He administers the vaccines when the chicks are 1 day old to prevent an outbreak as well. Farmers who buy from him as well are given a vaccination program to follow up on taking the chicks back home.
The initial vaccination we do is the Marex vaccine. We administer the Marex vaccine on the first day of hatching of our chicks. And according to our program, after the Marex vaccine, we also do the Newcastle disease vaccination for the initial week. We also do the Gumboro vaccines, 2 doses. And at week 6, we do the fowlpox vaccination. At week 8, we conduct what we call the fall typhoid vaccination. And thereafter, we encourage farmers to repeat the Newcastle disease vaccination.
In this hatchery, Newton has adopted the preventive over causative approach. If diseases can be prevented, it will lower the risk of disease and infection. This is why Newton always ensures that there is a disinfectant on the entrances to the hatchery. He also limits the number of people who go in and out of the hatchery.
But with poultry, the best approach is to prevent, because treating diseases at times can be very tricky. So we try to adapt a preventive approach. So due to our experience, we know the diseases that are likely. And one major disease is coccidiosis. The coccidiosis affects poultry so much, especially chicks. So what we make sure we do, adapt very high levels of hygiene inside our brooders. Yeah, the litter has to be clean. The feeds have to be changed regularly, and the water also has to be kept clean. But also the feeds need to contain what we call a coccidiostat. Coccidiostat is that chemical that destroys the parasites that cause coccidiosis. So there are some feeds that they are not medicated enough, and therefore would cause a lot of problems. And over time, we have come to know the best quality of feeds.
Getting quality parent stock has been one of the major challenges that Newton has faced. Poor quality parent stock translates to poor quality of chicks, which in turn affects business.
The challenges have been enormous. The quality of chicks depends a lot on even the quality of the parent stock. Yeah. So if you don't source eggs from a quality parent stock, you end up with chicks that are not healthy enough. The other challenge we have faced is, of course, the quality of feeds again in the market. Stockists of feeds are stocking low quality feeds. So we have had to stick to particular feed companies to ensure consistency of the quality of chicks.
Patience and community are key lessons that Newton attests he has learned in the business. He shares that without a supportive community, nothing is possible.
You cannot succeed in business on your own. You need to build as many partnerships as possible. Perhaps about marketing strategies, rely a lot on partnerships and also digital marketing. Listening to what the customer wants rather than insisting on producing on what you think customer wants. For example, there's a trend now, there's a shift. Most customers want chicks of 2 weeks and above rather than day-old chicks, because most farmers don't have that capacity to take care of chicks up to the age of 2 weeks.
In the next couple of years, Newton aims to reach and train at least 1 million farmers on chicks management. He shares that through this, food sustainability will no longer be an issue in the years ahead as more farmers will be doing agribusiness.
I believe that poultry farming has a potential to create a lot of jobs. My mission is to involve young people to embrace poultry farming. There is a model I'm adapting, a model that is worked very well in a country like Ethiopia, whereby a hatchery like my own would produce chicks, then look for individuals who can brood these chicks to a certain age, and then the individuals are able to resell among their small-scale farmers. So that approach can create a lot of jobs.
Start, just start, is the advice Newton has for aspiring farmers. He also adds that aspiring farmers should also ensure that they do extensive research on the type of business.
Initially, when I got started, I thought that capital was the most important resource I required. But knowledge is the most important resource you require in whatever you do. Yet, interestingly, very few people want to invest in knowledge. If today you wanted to do an enterprise worth $500,000 and I told you, can you pay me 20,000? I guide you through the process, you will feel like I'm charging you too much. And then you start your venture without adequate knowledge and it fails terribly because you refuse to invest in knowledge. So the role of a mentor, the role of training is very important. The location of the business is also very important. You need to be close to the market so that also the source of inputs, a business that is based nearby town is more likely to do better maybe than a business that has to rely on input that are being transported very far away. Another important thing is trust. When you are in this industry, you need to be someone who is trustworthy. And that's what will make more people do business with you.
As we wrap up today, always remember that the key to everything is patience. You get the egg by hatching the egg, not by smashing it. Loved the show? Send us your questions and feedback on our SMS portal 22071 and connect with us on our social media pages at Farm Kenya.